Good morning. Welcome to day 3. The days of this reset are still really confusing me because normally I do them Monday to Friday, but obviously Monday's bank holiday and New Year's Day, and so yes, it's confusing me because I want to say day 4, but it's not day 4, it's day 3. If you are watching, come and say good morning in the comments. If you're listening on the podcast or you're watching this back, you are very welcome. Let me know if you're watching it back later by typing replay in the comments. And if you're listening on the podcast, feel free to share this on your social media because that makes me really happy. Okay, morning Laura, hello. Okay, so today we are talking about why diets don't work and what has happened in the past. What have I just thrown across my keyboard? Nothing, I don't think. What has happened in the past that has perhaps not helped you. Okay, someone has just said that they have tried to join the live over on Facebook, and I can't help them because I'm in the middle of recording. So I can't do anything about that, unfortunately. Right, let's concentrate on this. Sorry, that put me off. That's why my phone's on silent. Okay, so why diets haven't worked for you in the past and what you can do to make sure that they do going forwards. So losing weight isn't the measure of a successful diet. Okay, it's not what is going to tell you whether or not you are doing it successfully, because actually losing weight, don't throw rotten tomatoes at me, is the easy part. If you haven't successfully lost weight and maintained that weight loss, this isn't an ability problem, okay? This is because the diets have failed you. So losing weight is relatively simple, but actually applying it to your life is the tricky thing. And that's why these super restrictive diets work in terms of the weight loss, but they don't work in terms of the maintaining of the weight loss, because who wants to do a super restrictive diet, whether it be fasting, whether it be shakes, whether it be missing out on all of your favourite things for the rest of your life? No one. And these diets don't teach you how to live your life. They don't teach you how to live your life in the way that makes you, able to enjoy life at the same time. So it's not your fault is the first thing. But a successful diet is not about the weight loss. A successful diet is about maintaining that weight loss for a long time. And when I say maintaining, it is perfectly normal for us to gain and lose a couple of pounds either side of what we would like to be, our goal weight. And I don't talk massively about goal weights, and I won't go into that loads now, but I don't talk massively about goal weights. Long story short, if I showed you pictures of me on my wedding day, me at my lightest in COVID, I say lightest, I weighed the same as on my wedding day, but my leanest during COVID, I weighed the same. If I show you a picture of me now, I weigh a couple of pounds heavier, but I'm so much happier with my body, and I think I look so much healthier, fitter, stronger. Okay, so I don't talk massively about goal weights because actually it's about your body composition, and your weight could be so much of that, but we're not going to go too far into that now. So to show me that you've maintained your weight loss and that was a successful diet for you, I want to see you 12 months after you've lost the weight and to see that you've maintained that weight loss. That's what I want to see. And it could have, fluctuated across those 12 months a couple of pounds either side, right? That's perfectly normal. It is impossible to stay the same weight every day for 12 months. That's just not going to happen. So all diets will work as long as you're in a calorie deficit, okay? But what happens is a lot of the commercial and very kind of extreme plans, so by this I mean Weight Watchers, I mean, where else do I mean? I mean Slimming World, I mean then your other very restrictive things like your keto, your super strict fasting, which I know a couple of you in here have done. I mean your, what else do I mean? Your cutting out all carbs, cutting out other certain meal groups. I mean, what else do I mean? Someone give me in the comments some more, like, kind of more commercial dieting plans. Did I say keto? I said keto. Atkins. I mean, does it do Atkins anymore? I don't think they do. Any of these things that are super, super restrictive, they all work. Meal replacements, points, sins, shakes, cutting out your food groups, they all work because they put you in a calorie deficit. But what they do is they hide the calories through either their system of points, sins, red, green, whatever it is nowadays, or just that you're taking shakes and a load of supplements, or that you're not eating for 16 hours a day or 20 hours a day, or that you're cutting out certain food groups, that you're eating for your blood type, blah, 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 blah. They all work by hiding that calorie deficit. And actually, many of them are overcomplicating it, which I'll come on to in a second. But what they do is they just focus on getting you that weight loss. Okay, they don't focus on the habits and the behaviours that are required for you to maintain that weight loss. They don't focus on helping you to implement good nutritional habits into that your life, so that when you've reached your goal weight, you are in a routine where you can be exercising, eating 5 fruit and veg, eating fibre, eating protein, drinking water, getting sleep, managing stress, getting your steps in, and therefore actually sustaining that weight loss is so much easier. Some of them encourage that, but they still hide it within their complicated system, okay? And that means that you don't sustain the weight loss. There's nothing special about any of these diets. I need a slurp of my coffee. There's nothing special about any of these diets. There's nothing magic. There's no special trick to it. They don't hack biology. They actually overcomplicate nutrition and losing fat. They overcomplicate it because they don't, when you're cutting out a whole food group, for example, they are creating this, like, why do we think carbs have such a bad name? Because Atkins, followed by keto, have demonized carbs so that we all believe, maybe not all of you if you've been around me for long enough, but we all believe that bread, pasta, rice, potatoes make you fat. Carbs make you fat. It's like in the 90s, no one ate fat, or fat makes you fat, because in the 90s they released a whole load of like fat-free products and that was the whole rage. They're complicating nutrition. Actually, we need carbs. especially if you exercise a lot, we need carbs. We need fat, especially as women. We need fat. It's vital. It helps with hormone health, and goodness knows at 43 years old I need help with my hormone health. We need carbs, we need fat, and what all of these diets have been doing is overcomplicating your nutrition and your fat loss. And that's why many of you get to the point where you just think, well, nothing works, and I don't understand what I'm meant to be doing, because this famous person tells me to do this, and then this guru tells me to do that, and then Slimming World tell me to do this, and it's just all a bit of a brain disaster. Okay, if you choose to work with me, whether it be in the at-home community or in any of my other programs, because you can choose a higher touch program than the at-home community if you choose to. I show you how to lose fat, how to become healthy, and I show you how to do this in a way that fits your life. And that is completely different to all of these commercial diet plans and extreme and restrictive protocols that you've tried in the past, because they tell you what to do, they tell you when to do it, you know, like meal plans and things like that, and you don't learn anything. And because I work on not just helping you lose fat through a calorie deficit that we make work for your lifestyle, I also help you to implement the habits and the routines and the behaviours and understand your thought processes and help you to understand your mindset, which means that losing fat will occur, but also changing your behaviours, your habits, your relationship with food, with your body, with yourself, with exercise occurs at the same time. And what that means is, yes, you will lose fat, but you will also have these habits and routines as part of your lifestyle, and you will be healthy for your life as long as you maintain those things. Because here's a secret, I haven't dropped a secret yet, and we're 12 minutes in. Losing fat requires exactly the same habits as staying healthy for your whole life. It's just that we also add in a calorie deficit. So getting your protein, getting your 5 fruit and veg, getting your exercise, getting your steps, getting your sleep, getting your water, managing your stress. You need to do those every day. And by the way, let's go back to not perfectly, but you need to tick as many boxes, as many of those boxes, as many days as possible for the rest of your life to stay healthy. So for those of you that hate walking, for those of you that don't like exercise, for you, those of you that don't like vegetables, like, I'm really sorry to tell you, but if you want to be healthy and fit and strong and live a long life, these things are for life. You can't just say, right, well, I'm going to eat 5 portions of vegetables and try and get 7,000 steps a day until I hit my goal weight, until I lose my 2 stone. It doesn't work like that, because then if you stop eating your vegetables and you stop getting your steps, you're just going to put all the weight back on, amongst other things. You know, if you're dropping those habits, you're probably dropping other habits as well. So the restrictive and often complicated diets don't fit into real life, and that's why the things you have tried before, coffee slep, the things you have tried before haven't worked long term. I know, because I've spoken to most of you one-on-one, I know that most of you have successfully lost weight before. Unless weight gain has been quite a new thing to you, I know that losing weight has happened for you before. The problem is you've not maintained it. Now, there's a couple of you in here that aren't trying to lose weight. You're doing this because you want to get back into healthy habits after the Christmas period, which is fine. And there's a couple of things that I want to quickly say about that. and I talked to my last Diet Club clients about this last night. You know, I see the Christmas week, kind of Christmas Eve to about, it's a bit more than a week, isn't it? Christmas Eve to about New Year's Day as like a holiday. There are 52 weeks in a year. If you take roughly a week off every 3 months, Christmas week is like your week off every 3 months. Even if you take 6 weeks off a year, right? I've got to do the maths now. That's 46 weeks of the year. You can still tick as many boxes as possible. If you do the work as consistently as you can for 46 weeks of the year, there is no reason why you can't have a week off at Christmas where you are enjoying your food, enjoying alcohol, enjoying the treats, you know, slobbing around in your PJs if you want to, right? So that's why one of the reasons why I did this so close to New Year instead of waiting until next week was because I wanted to show you that it is, you know, these habits are fine to let go of a bit for a couple of weeks when you go on holiday. It won't put you right back to the beginning. Okay? So the diets that you've tried are not set up to allow you to succeed because they don't focus on making dieting easy. So they don't focus on all of the habits that we've been talking about today, this week so far. Now, there are other habits that for you individually might be really important that we're not talking about in this week because it's 5 days and I don't want to overwhelm you. I focus on the most important ones. So I'll give you a quick example. Sleep for me is absolutely vital. If I am not getting enough sleep, then my nutrition and my exercise and my stress levels just completely go out of the window. Okay, I'm not going to go into the detail of it, but there are a few other things that we have to consider as well as those habits, and they might be individual to you. If you've lost weight in the past and you've put it back on, it's because what you did to lose the weight in the first place wasn't sustainable for your life. It didn't fit into your lifestyle. You know, I know that there's someone following along on this reset who in the past has lost a lot of weight through quite a restrictive plan and then has continued to fast quite extremely. And I know that they've stopped now. But they weren't getting anywhere with that fasting, and this person's really super active. They weren't getting anywhere with that fasting, and you know that's likely because it creates this all or nothing and really extreme, but also because that person is so active in eating in a 4-hour feeding window in the day. You cannot get enough good quality calories to fuel that exercise. You'll hear me talk about food as fuel a lot, right? We have these love-hate, negative connotation relationships with food because we've spent so much of our life feeling like food is the enemy, and actually food fuels us. And especially if you take on board the principles that I'm teaching you and you start exercising regularly, you start getting plenty of steps, you need to fuel yourself, okay? So here's what you need to do. I'm going to go through a few steps. Here's what you need to do if dieting hasn't worked for you in the past. Slurp. So number one, and you know this refers back to what I talked about in the intro, realize things need to change. Okay, if you want to change your body, change your health, you cannot carry on doing what you are doing. All of you have joined this reset because something needs to change. Now that could be you've got a couple of stone to lose. It could be that you've overindulged a bit at Christmas and you just wanted to refresh on some healthy habits. Okay, so something needs to change. So the first step is realizing you can't finish this reset and just go back to whatever it was you were doing before, because that was keeping you stuck. That was keeping you unhappy. Now you might decide I'm not the person you want to work with, and that's fine. You know, this is not, working with me is not mandatory coming off of this 5-day reset. But something needs to change. You can't carry on the way that you're carrying on. Okay? Number two, second thing you need to realize is you are in control. And again, I hope that you took that from day one when I talked a lot about mindset and also the intro. You can make changes. You might not be able to make all of the changes that you want to make right now, and it's probably not a good idea to make all of those changes in one go anyway, but you are the average of your actions, behaviors, and habits. This is a long-term game. It's not just temporary, okay? You're in control of this, but one of the biggest problems is that people put an end date on it. And I'm going to give you a few examples. There's a few of you in here who have told me, I've got a holiday coming up this year. I've got a big occasion, my sister's wedding. It's a big birthday. We've got a couple of big birthdays in this reset. You know, I've got this holiday. I've got this. I've got that. That's great. It's great to have something to look forward to. It's great to have something to aim for. You know, in the year I turned 40, I was determined to be my strongest, my fittest, my healthiest in that 40th year. And I was, and I've continued to get stronger and fitter and healthier. That's great. But you put an end date on it by saying, I want to be X by the time I go on holiday, or I want to be Y by the time it gets to this big occasion. You're putting an end date on it. And what you're doing is you're setting a false expectation. Now, you specifically might not. You might be thinking, right, my big holiday is in July and I've got half a stone to lose. That's absolutely reasonable, but we're putting an end date on it still. And if you think about everything I've said so far today, you are, by putting an end date on it, you're saying, right, well, when I reach this date, I can just stop doing all these habits. And I've already said to you, these habits are for life if you want to live a long, healthy, happy life. So they're long-term behaviour changes, long-term habit changes, and they take time. You know, I've got clients that have been working with me for over a year, over 18 months, some of them, because making changes to their body, making changes to their habit, making changes to their life takes time. Yes, they've achieved, many of them have achieved their goals, but actually, that, you know, they see value in still maintaining their work with me to keep going as life changes. You know, life events happen, things come into play. You know, some of the people that have joined Mum Boss at Home that starts on Monday are returning clients of mine because things have changed in life. Their circumstances are a bit different, so they want my help to implement these healthy habits in a way that fits their new life. Maybe their work circumstances have changed or their home circumstances have changed, and it's about taking these habits and right, how do I make that fit into life? Okay, but they are forever. These changes, apart from the calorie deficits, once you get to, you know, the body composition that you're happy with, you don't need to be in a calorie deficit. You need to be at maintenance, but maintenance is the toughest part. I've forgotten what number we're on. But anyway, you don't need to eat as little. That's number 3. You don't need to eat as little as possible. You don't need to exercise every day. So the point number 3 is you don't need these extremes. Actually, when you work with me, I'm going to work with trying to get you eating as much as possible while still getting you results. Yes, I want you to move, but I don't want you to be exercising every day. We want to get you finding that sweet spot for you, which is different for everyone, by the way. It's different for everyone. There's someone in this reset that at the moment is working out every day. Now, we had a conversation, she's one of my clients, we had a conversation about this last night, and she knows she needs to reduce that a little bit, but she's super active and that's her sweet spot. For other people that I work with, the amount she works out is not going to work for her. So you don't need to eat as little as possible. or ban yourself from any foods. Okay, we want to get you moving the right amount and eating as much as possible and still getting results. Okay, so many people think that in order to lose weight, they need to cut portion sizes. You know, it's that eat less, move more. It's not quite as simple as that. I think it was Piers Morgan that said that. You know, anyone can lose weight, eat less, move more. It's not that easy. So that's what I want you to do. I want you finding the sweet spot, and I want you eating as much as possible whilst you're doing it. Because if you're eating as much as possible, we can always reduce what you're eating a bit. If you're moving at a sweet spot, we can always increase your movement a little bit. And there always needs to be wiggle room. Whereas when you go in really extreme, you feel like the only way to do it is reduce even more. Okay? So what are we on? Number 4, stop looking for the quick fixes. Okay, think about it. Have they worked before? No, they haven't worked before. They've probably lost the weight for you before, but then you will have put it back on. Okay, stop looking for the quick fixes, stop looking for the magic pill, and start learning and educating yourself on good nutrition, on movement, on stress management, on all the things that go on, all of these habits that we've been talking about. And also accept that this is going to take time. I'm going back to, you are the product of your habits. If you have lost and gained the same couple of stone for years and years and years and years, you are a product of your habits. And it's likely that you've been doing something that is super restrictive, that is super quick fixy, super faddy, and as soon as you've stopped it, you've gained the weight, because you're a product of your habits. Change the way you're approaching it. If you change the way you're approaching it, you're going to get long-term success. Okay, you need to address the habits, the routines, the behaviours, the beliefs that don't serve you. So Jamie's just put in the comments, interesting. I thought I'd go off track with no set goal or date. So it's more, I mean, absolutely, you can set yourself some targets, but the problem with setting a goal weight at a goal date is it's all or nothing. A good thing to, one of my clients, I've said to her before, stop thinking about the next 10 kilograms. Just think about the next 1 kilogram. And when you've done that kilogram, think about the next kilogram. So maybe you need some targets, but actually another thing I said to my client group last night was, tick the boxes, be consistent, trust the process, and the weight will take care of itself. Like, we're so obsessed with the number on the scale and an end date. We get so obsessed with that, and then what happens is, if it's not working in the way we expect it to, we go off track. And that's why having support, and again, I go back to, it might not be that you decide to have me as your support. And Jamie, you have decided you've joined the Mum Boss at Home program, so you've decided that I'm the person that you want to support you, so we'll work on that. But we we find the way that motivates you, but by obsessing about a number on a scale, that is only going to cause you to go into all or nothing. So you need to address all of those things, but you also need to find a way of doing this whilst living a full life and enjoying life and being happy. Still seeing your friends, still eating out, still socialising whilst getting results. And like I said, you need to realise that this takes time. You're not going to be fixed in 5 days. If some of you have joined this 5-day reset and decided that this 5-day reset is going to fix you, you know, depending on what your goals are, I'm really sorry, but you can't fix these things in 5 days. I'm great. I'm not that good. No one can do that. It takes time, it takes patience. Okay? So again, like I said, in 12 months' time, or 12 months after you've lost the weight, I want you to still be hovering, you know, 3, 4, 5 pounds around what you set yourself as a goal weight. That is when we know your habits, your behaviours, your beliefs are part of your normal routine. Okay, daily task. Yesterday on the WhatsApp group, we realised that a few people hadn't read the nutrition guide. I would like you to go and read the nutrition guide if you haven't already, and I'd like you to plan a couple of meals. Okay, maybe think about the meal that is most difficult for you. For me, it's lunch. I don't know why. I work at home. I think it's because sometimes I'm so busy that I kind of just think, oh, I've like not eaten lunch, and then what I decided I was going to have, I can't have because I haven't got time, or I'm going to eat too close to dinner or whatever. So for me, prepping lunch ahead of time is absolutely key, because it would be so easy for me to miss it because it's just me in the house, or just to do something, you know, easy and probably not as nutritious. So I want you to plan a couple of meals. You should have been doing some planning anyway from the beginning of the week, but have a look at that nutrition guide and plan in some meals, okay? And then I want you to think about and write down and share with us, what do you need to succeed? You came here and shared with me, and many of you shared with other people, what your long-term goals are. So if that is long-term weight loss, if that's muscle gain, if that's healthier habits, what do you need to succeed with that goal? Is it you need some help and support? In which case, reach out to me. You don't have to do it publicly in the Facebook group or on the WhatsApp group. You can reach out to me personally. If you need some help and support, I'm more than happy to talk to you about the help and support that I can give you. If you don't think I'm the right person, I'm not going to get offended. I know hundreds of amazing coaches that can help you. Is it that you need to make some changes to structure, to routine? What is it? What is the thing that you need to do to succeed? I want you to write that down, and I want you to commit to doing it, finding it, actioning it. That's what I want you to put a date on. I need this to succeed, and I'm going to get this, find this, do this by this date. Okay? Remember, the biggest takeaway from this that I want you to take away is, it's not your fault if you've struggled with this in the past. But if you don't take action after learning all of this and getting those light bulb moments, it will become your fault, because you have the opportunity to change. You are in control. You're in control, not anyone else. So it's not your fault up until this point, because everything you've tried hasn't been right to help you succeed. But it will become your fault if you don't do something to change it. Okay? So that's it for the rest of the day. Well, not for the rest of the day. That's it for today, for today's podcast live. I hope you have an awesome day. I can't wait to chat to you all later. And don't forget, share your trackers, share them on social media. Feel free to share the podcast, and I will speak to you very soon. Mwah! Bye.